I am going to reach 100% perfection in Stardew Valley. Hello everyone, and welcome back to my Stardew Valley Perfection Run playthrough. In this video, we will be talking about all of the progress I made in Year 1 Fall. If you haven't seen the previous 2 videos in this series, I will link that playlist down below. Please go and watch them to see how far we've gotten in Year 1 so far. If you want to watch these streams live, please go follow me on my Twitch, and let's get into it. We got off to a great start on day 1. It was a bad luck day. We collected an apple and a poppy for the community center, checked on the animals, and made a few more sprinklers. I got the farm area ready for planting and headed off to the community center. I put the apple and the poppy in the community center and got the seeds that I needed from Pierre. I headed home and it took me literally the rest of the night to plant all my seeds. It was a good luck day on day 2. I took care of my crops, collected a duck egg for the community center, and rearranged my house a bit. Lewis and Robin showed me the order board and I gave Penny a diamond for her birthday. But then, as I was leaving, Penny suddenly teleported into this cutscene.
I understand. You were watching us. You did a kind thing, Penny.
After that, I got a few more seeds from Pierre, planted them, and fished in the river until it was dark. I went around looking for forageables until eventually I went home and went to bed. I also reached level 9 fishing overnight. It was a bad luck day again on day 3. The second I walked out of the door, Emily stopped me to tell me all about her sewing machine. I got a letter from Marnie asking for a bundle of amaranth, and I checked up on the farm. I went foraging in the forest and also collected some wood. I completed the night fishing bundle in the community center and spent the rest of the night fishing at the mountain lake. Also, overnight, my farm got visited by a fairy, so that's cool. On day 4, I checked in on my animals, took care of my crops, and harvested the ones that were ready because of the fairy. I added 3 apples to the fodder bundle, added pumpkin to the fall crops bundle, and completed the fall foraging bundle. I bought more seeds from Pierre, and then a train was passing by, so I ran up there to try to grab anything that I could, and I got 6 geodes. I went back to my farm, planted the seeds that I bought, and I made more sprinklers. I spent the rest of the night chopping down trees, and I went fishing for a little bit before going to bed. The spirits were angry again on day 5. I'm really not sure what their problem is. I took care of my farm and my animals, and I got a yam and a goat cheese for the community center. I gave Elliot a plum for his birthday, put the yam and the goat cheese into the community center, which actually completed the artisan bundle. I fished at the mountain lake, and then I fished at the beach. I added the 1 starfruit I had to my keg, and then I went to bed. It was raining on day 6, and it was finally a good luck day. I harvested my crops, took care of my animals, and I took an eggplant to the community center. I fished at the mountain lake until 8 p.m., and then I dropped off the fish I got at the community center. After that, I just headed home and went to bed. I learned the tortilla recipe on day 7, and it was once again a bad luck day. Wah wah. I took care of my farm, went around foraging, and fished at the ocean until 10 p.m. After that, I went home and I went to bed. On day 8, Linus asked me to find his berry picking basket, which is fitting because today is the start of blackberry season. I harvested the crops that were ready and took care of my farm. I went out to look for Linus's basket, and initially I went to the wrong place, but eventually I found my way to where the basket was, and I collected lots of forageables along the way. I gave the basket back to Linus, and I went fishing in the mountain lake until it was super late, and then I went home and went to bed. On day 9, it was raining, and it was a good luck day. I took care of my farm and cleaned it up a bit. I completed the fall crops bundle and got a bee house as a reward. I went to fish up in the mountain lake, and then I went down to the community board and accepted a request from Robin for 1,000 stone. But she didn't want me to bring them to her, she just wanted me to collect them, and then she said I could keep them, which I don't get that, but whatever. I went home, organized my inventory, and headed down to the mines. I spent the rest of the night collecting stone, and then I had to run home and go to bed because it was so late. I spent the morning on day 10 doing what I usually do, taking care of my farm. I headed straight to the mines after that, and I mined the entirety of the rest of the day. And I collected over 300 stone for Robin's request. Overnight, I reached level 5 combat, and I picked the fighter profession. On day 11, I harvested my crops that were ready, and I replanted a lot of the seeds. I took care of my animals, and then I began working on clearing out my farm a little bit. I cleared out some space, and then I went to give Jody a gift for her birthday. After that, I headed down to the mines and continued to collect stone for Robin. I collected 174 stone before I had to head home and go to bed. On day 12, my starfruit wine was ready, which is absolutely amazing. Jody sent me a recipe for fried calamari, and I took care of my farm. I went to the community center and I added a large goat milk to the animal bundle, which actually completed it. After that, I headed to the mines, and at 7:50 p.m., I finished Robin's request and headed back to my farm. Robin sent me the crafting recipe for a stone chest on the morning of day 13. I still don't know why she let me keep the stone, but whatever. I harvested the crops that were ready, and I took care of my animals. I headed down to Marnie's to buy a pig now that my barn is upgraded. I also named the pig pricey because it costs 16,000 gold. I went foraging and then I went to the mountain lake to fish. I went back to my farm and went to bed a little early today, but I reached level 8 farming overnight and I got the keg recipe, which is awesome. On day 14, I harvested my crops, collected the 5 golden pumpkins that I needed for the community center, and took care of my animals. I went to the community center and I added the pumpkins to the quality crops bundle, and I also added a pomegranate to the enchantress bundle. I purchased the 1000 gold bundle in the vault room as well. I went to Pierre's and immediately my worst fear came true. Abby wanted me to play Journey of the Prairie King with her, and I am notoriously bad at both Journey of the Prairie King and Juno Kart, so I was absolutely terrified because I wanted to improve Abby and I's friendship, but I just knew that this was not gonna work out. So I've been playing Journey of the Prairie King for hours and I can't even beat the first level. You're asking me for help, and that's genuinely like the worst thing you could have done. However, by some miracle, I actually completed the level, and it was literally so close. I didn't finish the game, but I finished the first level. After the cutscene, I bought some seeds from Pierre, and I fished at the beach for the rest of the day. Lewis sent me a reminder on the morning of day 15. The Stardew Valley festival is tomorrow. I spent some time trying to figure out what I wanted to bring for the festival, and I took care of my farm. I made a fried egg for Gus's bundle in the community center, and I headed there to add it. I also dropped off an artifact at the library, and then I went to the mines. I collected as much as I could in the mines and began working on making copper and iron bars to get some kegs. I made 3 kegs and I put blackberries in them, and then I went to bed. Today is the day of the Stardew Valley Fair. I spent the early morning completing my daily chores, and then I figured out exactly what I wanted to bring and grabbed everything I needed before heading out to the festival. I talked to everyone there, and then I set up my display. I added anything that I had of iridium quality, and the rest are gold quality fish and crops and a few minerals and gems for some variety. I played some games to get some star tokens, and then I had Lewis judge the displays. We got first place and received 1,000 star tokens as a reward. I collected my stuff back, and then I played some more games. I used my star token to buy my very first star drop. I played the rest of the games just for fun, and then I actually just went back to my farm and went to bed. I spent the morning of day 17 taking care of the farm, and then I went to Robin's to see what I needed for a fish pond. I went home, built some more kegs, and went to try and collect seaweed and algae for the fish pond. Initially, I went fishing in the mines to get algae, but it was white algae and I wasn't sure if that would work, so actually I went down to the beach instead and I fished for the rest of the day trying to collect seaweed, and I collected 3 seaweed. I completed my morning chores in the early hours of day 18, and then I went to the community center and purchased the 25,000 gold bundle in the vault room. By completing this bundle, I unlocked the bus to access the desert. I made a maki roll for the chef's bundle and accepted a request from Emily to bring her a bunch of crystals and stuff. I went to check which crystals I already had for the request, and I was missing 2 of them. By then, it was late in the evening, so I just went to bed. The spirits were annoyed on day 19, and I was annoyed because I had to do another pickle juice shot. All right, cheers. Caroline sent me a letter asking me to bring her a pumpkin. I took care of my farm, and then I took my geodes to Clint's and had him open all of them. I got quite a few things for the library's selection, and I decided to head to the desert for the first time. My main purpose for going to the desert was to catch a sandfish, which I did. And then I returned home and added it to the community center, completing the fish tank bundle. After that, I went to the mines to try and collect the rest of the gems and stuff that I needed for Emily's request, but I didn't find any. I went home and I went to bed decently early, but because I completed the fishing bundle, the Junimos cleared the boulder by the mountain lake. On day 20, it was a neutral luck day, and I harvested the crops that were ready and did all of the farm things. I headed down to the mines to collect the small amount of stone that I needed for the fish pond, and then I went to the forest farm to fish for algae. I actually got 5 algae really fast, and then I went down to the ocean to continue fishing for seaweed, and I also got that pretty fast. Before it got too late, I took the pumpkin to Caroline that she requested, and after that, I went home and I went to sleep. I learned how to make glazed yams on the morning of day 21. I took care of my farm, and then I brought a bundle of amaranth to Marnie. When I returned back to my farm, Marnie ambushed me and demanded that I bring her a cave carrot for her goats. Not only that, but after the cutscene, I got stuck and I had to restart the day. I replayed everything I just did, and this time I did not get stuck. I added a bottle of wine to the community center, and then I finally asked Robin to make me a fish pond. After that, I went to the mines to try and find the gems that I needed for Emily's request, and I did not find them, so I did not complete the request. Also, overnight, I reached level 9 farming. Marnie literally ambushed me again in the morning. She asked me for a cave carrot, probably because I had to restart the game, but that doesn't mean I still can't be annoyed. I stand by this even more because she also sent me a recipe in the mail. Like, Marnie, girl, leave me alone. I took care of the farm, put everything I needed to sell in the bin, and then I went into town and accepted a request from Demetrius to catch 20 river fish. I went to the forest to cut down trees for wood, and then I went home and I went to bed. It was a neutral luck day again on day 23. I took care of the farm for a bit, and then I ran up to Robin's. I was trying to catch her as she passed through her house and ask her to upgrade my coop, and I was successful. After that, I headed back to my farm and I finished my chores, and then I went into town and I fished in the river to work on Demetrius's request. I fished at the top of the map because I knew there was a chance that I would catch the legendary fish, and I did. When it got late, I went home and I went to bed, and overnight I reached level 10 fishing and I picked the angler profession. It was a great luck day on day 24, and I took care of my animals and my crops first thing as usual. I added a sturgeon to my fish pond, and then I went to the river to fish. I fished there until I finished Demetrius's request, and then I went to the mines to collect some iron. When it got late, I went home, organized my inventory, and went to bed. On day 25, it was rainy and a bad luck day. Demetrius sent me the crafting recipe for a farm computer as thanks for my help on his request, and Lewis sent me the recipe for spaghetti. I harvested a ton of crops that were ready, and I put everything in the bin to sell. I took care of my animals, and then I gave in and brought a cave carrot to Marnie. I also bought a rabbit, and the game named it Tra, so welcome to the family, Tra. I brought the sweet gemberry I harvested to the statue in the secret woods, and I got a star drop in return. I then made a very bad decision. I decided to go on a casual run to Skull Cavern to try to find a little bit of iridium, and, well, I died. So I lost pretty much everything that I had gotten and also 1,000 gold, so that sucked. I just went home and went to bed. It was a bad luck day on day 26, which was fitting, because I received a letter from Mr. Chi daring me to reach level 25 of the mines, and I can't turn down a dare. I took care of my farm and then went to Skull Cavern, even though it was a bad luck day. I even brought some bombs and a few staircases, like I even had a chance. I made it 10 levels before I died again, and I was mad again, so I just went to bed. It's the day of my favorite Stardew festival today, the Spirits Eve Festival. I did all of my chores and then I went to the mines to collect some resources for Skull Cavern runs. I mined until evening, and then I went home, organized my inventory, and then I went to the festival. I bought the jack-o'-lantern recipe and the rare crow at the festival, and I went around to talk with everyone that was there, and then I went into the maze. I talked to everyone in the maze, made my way through, and then collected the gold pumpkin. After that, I went home, put the gold pumpkin in the bin to sell, and went to bed. I got the recipe for artichoke dip on day 28, and I took care of my farm. I finally got a truffle for my pig on the absolute last day, and I took it to the community center and completed the chef's bundle. I didn't really have anything else that I wanted to complete for fall, so I took the day to clean up my farm a bit and add some decoration. I also started a little tree farm, mostly with oak trees, so I can get resin to make kegs. By the time I was done with that, it was late, and I went to bed, closing my eyes on the last night of fall. Thank you so much, everybody, so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed the video, and if you want to watch this playthrough live, please be sure to go and follow me on my Twitch. I will see all of you in the next one, okay? Bye, everyone.